Is the best Dragon Ball Z RPG a Nintendo DS game released back in 2009? We're going to find that out today, as I cover all the good and all the bad of Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans, and decide once and for all if it is the best DBZ RPG. But before that, if you like Dragon Ball Z content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. On to the game. Attack of the Saiyans is a turn-based role-playing game developed by Monolith Soft and published by Namco Bandai. It offers a unique look at what happened in those 5 years between Goku's battle with Piccolo Jr. in the World Tournament, all the way up to that fateful battle against Vegeta. The gameplay mechanics of Attack of the Saiyans breathes new life into a catalog of cookie-cutter 1v1 tournament-style fighters by bringing up a genuine 3v3 RPG experience with a variety of characters, stats, equipment, special moves, consumable items, combos. The combat system was something that intrigued me at first. It's like this perfect blend of classic RPG vibes from the likes of Final Fantasy, mixed in with some Paper Mario style action response button presses. Combine that with their use of their unique rage or sparking mechanic, and battles start to become much more than just punching and key blasting your way to victory. The game itself includes a cast of favorites such as Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, as well as lesser utilized characters like Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin. Each character's style resemble what their anime counterparts' strengths and weaknesses were, but that doesn't mean you can't adjust that as you play. Do you dream of making Krillin your glass cannon death machine firing off thousands of 100 million damaged destructo discs? Or maybe you want Piccolo to be an unyielding tank, taking blows and healing back up as if they never happened. This game has a very welcoming amount of customization. With those options in mind, it provides you with an engaging progression throughout the story, but also allows you to go with the flow if you're not trying to break up the mold too much. You won't be faulted if you just want Gohan to punch things, or Piccolo to blow them up. Not to mention that as the story progresses, you might find the need to change your strategies up. I know for me, I started with Tien being a giant tri-beam throwing maniac with maxed out technique, to settling down his damage and focusing more on his defense and recovery stats. As your characters level up, all of their stats will increase with a small bonus to a skill or two based on the character. Tien gets extra technique, Krillin gets extra speed, etc. But you're always allotted 2 extra points to put wherever you'd like. That means you can either double down on their strengths or shore up their weaknesses, since you're already getting those free points in that particular stat. Something I thought was really cool is that Gohan is incredibly weak throughout the game, gaining only 1 in each stat until about level 35. That's when his potential skyrockets. It's a cool mechanic and feels genuine to the show. Other characters have similar progression paths, but Gohan's has a refreshingly unique feel to it. He's like a long-term investment that you can watch pay off, when seemingly out of nowhere, he just blows past everyone. Everyone except Goku. The story in Attack of the Saiyans is great for diehard fans and casual fans alike. While the plot is a classic retelling, there's also a good mix of Easter eggs and callbacks to have you pointing at your screen going, hey, I know who that character is, when they bring back a lesser-known side character and flesh out their story a bit. With the classic pixel art style, it's a game that, even after coming out 10 years ago, still looks fresh and won't become dated. The animations are fantastic, with lots of flashy attacks for each character, and also bonus point to them for their full pixel art recreation of classic scenes in the show. They look beautiful. The soundtrack was quite good, especially for a Nintendo DS game at the time, with a big nod to the absolute banger that was the Vegeta Final Boss song. That song had me so hyped to beat that Saiyan Prince into the ground. I do have to talk about one thing that did let me down. The game kind of has a lack of replayability in regards to endgame content. Sure, there's a ton of stuff you can sink your extra time into, like the carrot collecting and the monster capturing, but it doesn't really hold a whole lot of meaning. It feels like they wanted to fluff out the potential time without accounting for the quality of that time. For instance, the rewards you get from each of those collectathons really fell flat, since by the time you would get them, you'd already have gotten better rewards, or you outscaled the need for them. Essentially, it was just for hardcore completionists, or if you really needed something to do and had nothing else to play, which, hey, I can't completely fault, because I still bring up Kakarot and do those small little micro tasks in the journal, even though I've already got the platinum. Listen, I love the world of Dragon Ball Z, okay? I think they missed a big opportunity of putting in extra bosses in all the old locations after you finish the game. Even as simple as a reskin of the bosses you've already fought would have gone a long way to keeping the endgame content fresh. There are so many great side villains to throw in that would have fit in that saga. If I'm going to fight the ghost of Raditz in the afterlife multiple times, why not throw him in the endgame and just say he escaped the afterlife? Just ramp his stats up. Problem solved. Or how about throwing in my man Garlic Jr., or Lord Slug, or Turles, or any of the World Tournament fighters, or the Red Ribbon Army villains? There are loads of notable names that could have been splashed in that would have evoked fun nostalgia and made you really feel like there was a purpose of going around and collecting the Dragon Balls again and revisiting all those old maps. But I do appreciate that they have a legitimate threat in their one secret boss they did add. But it also just kind of shows me they had the potential for so much more. And that makes the grinding to get strong enough to fight that boss feel so shallow, with the rest of the world feeling pretty empty. The difficulty for the game I felt was appropriate, but I will say I almost really never ran from a fight, so my characters were always pretty well leveled. I think I reset twice my entire playthrough, but with a small change in strategy each time, not just like going back and grinding more, I was able to defeat the boss. And one of them was in the final fight against Vegeta, so I'm actually pretty glad that I lost to him at least once, because nothing takes the wind out of your sails like just steamrolling that final boss first try without any effort. Since this game is no longer in rotation, your price may vary, and I could see this game climbing in value because of how little other games they have like it for Dragon Ball Z. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to make a sequel. Which is a shame, because if Legacy of Goku and Budokai taught us anything, sometimes your first outing isn't perfect, but with some refinement, you can make some amazing games. So if you pick up a used copy for a reasonable price, expect to get a good 30 hours or so of fun out of it, and experience a Dragon Ball Z game unlike anything you've probably played. But if you're not already a Dragon Ball Z fan, most of what made me love the game would be lost on you, so it's probably a skip. So is this the best Dragon Ball Z RPG ever made? In its micro niche that it holds, maybe? But I still hold Kakarot as the best release of an RPG that DBZ has come up with. And Legacy of Goku 2 and Boo's Fury are fantastic RPGs that still hold up today. I hope that we get another game like this in the future, because a sequel with the Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, and beyond would be amazing. But I'm not holding my breath. Thank you so much for watching. Have you had a chance to play this game? If you have, be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And hit that notification bell or whatever. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay classy and keep winning.